Hey there guys, welcome back to my FlossTube channel. My name is Liz, my company is Hello from Liz Matthews, and I am excited to spend some time with you today on Casual Friday. It has been almost 2 weeks since my last video. For me, that's really good, and I'm proud of myself for keeping up this streak. I am hoping to do a weekly video, but I'll get into why last week was skipped, but it's early in the morning here, October 22nd. Looking forward to my next cup of coffee when I get done chatting with you. I hope that you guys have been well, and I am looking forward to sharing what I have been up to in 2 weeks. There's a lot here, including a lot of stitching. We could almost call this my WIP parade video. I know, who am I? You guys know I don't always share a lot of my patterns because I am a designer and I like to keep them kind of under wraps, but I have a lot to share with you, so get ready for this unexpected WIP parade. As I said, I hope that you guys have been well and that you enjoy a really good stitch-filled weekend coming up. We are creeping really close to Halloween, although it doesn't actually feel like it here in Maryland. This week the temperatures were like 77, 78. Now they are expected to drop this weekend. We're supposed to get our first frost on Sunday, and I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to it. I like the cooler weather. I like, you know, layering up and being cozy, and chilly mornings, chilly evenings, fires on the back patio in the fire pit, stuff like that. It's one of my favorite seasons. I would say fall is definitely my favorite season, actually followed by spring. You can take summer, and winter's okay. But yeah, I hope that you guys are enjoying this fast moving month. Really, really weird. Now, the thing about having our first frost on Sunday means that my garden, which you know I have been working on like crazy over the last season, it still has dahlias blooming, but as soon as we get a killing frost, I will get out there and dig up my dahlia tubers. So it means a lot of work is going to come for me in the garden, which sounds so weird for October, but Mother Nature, I'm just waiting on that killing frost to need to do some work. So that's a bit of a tangent there. Anyway, my name is Liz. My company is Hello from Liz Matthews. I will put all of my contact information, including my email, my P.O. box, my website, all of the things in the description box below, including links to anybody I mention in this video. All the things that you might need, all the pertinent information will be down there. I hope that you do give me a follow here. Finally remembering to say all this stuff. And on Instagram, where I am most active, my handle is Hello from Liz Matthews. So with that, I guess I always say that. With that, we'll get into this FlossTube content. I did want to give you a bit of a catch up at the beginning, as I always do in all of my FlossTube videos. I like to keep it personal. I figured that you are here to get to know me, so I like to share that information with you. Things have been busy and good. I do want to sincerely thank you for all of the sweet messages about Zoe, Joe's family dog, last week. That was so kind. We're moving forward, but all your sweet messages were read by Joe, and I really, really appreciate them. Aside from, with that, things have continued to be busy. I did take a day off work with Mom this week. We went antiquing in Pennsylvania because we wanted to go to Terrain, which is an outdoor kind of garden nature shop that is owned by Anthropology, so it has that kind of vibe and those kind of price tags. We didn't get much at all. I got new pruning shears for that dahlia work that I have to do that I just mentioned. I got a pumpkin carving kit because I want to have a date night with Joe, I think. Carve pumpkins and watch scary movies. Maybe this weekend we'll do that. I don't know, but I bought a very overpriced pumpkin carving kit, only one we can share, but I'm looking forward to that. And on our way to Terrain, Mom and I actually stopped at the Conowingo Dam, which is in Harford County, don't quote me on that, Maryland. It's before you get into Pennsylvania where the Terrain shop is located. But at this dam, this Conowingo Dam, there are bald eagles everywhere, and we really wanted to check them out. It's a cool dam on its own, but then add bald eagles, and it was a really fun pit stop about halfway on our travels to terrain. We only actually ended up seeing one bald eagle, and it was from the car. Go figure. I guess it is not peak bald eagle time. They weren't out and about. We have binoculars, but we saw one and we got to enjoy the scenery. So that was really fun. And then while we were antiquing, I picked up something I will show you in just a bit. And it was just a great day out. It was a sunshiny, beautiful day. So that was a highlight of this past week, along with what I did last weekend. I don't think that I mentioned it in my last Floss Tube video, but last Sunday, I did a glass blowing workshop with Mare and some family friends at a vineyard. Sounds dangerous, but don't worry, the glass blowing came first. And when I signed up for this workshop, I knew that we would be making a stemless wine glass. I knew that was part of it. It was in the description when you signed up. But I really thought that, like, by making, they meant you pick out the colors and they do it for you. I don't know. Not the case. It was actual glass blowing from a vat of molten glass. Like, you had the long tube, you blew it yourself. Like, it was, I mean, with a lot of guidance. The instructor was there kind of doing more of the work for me than me actually doing it, because it's scary working with a ball of hot molten glass. So he was very helpful, but it really was doing it yourself. Like, you rolled it, you blew through the pipe, you smoothed the bottom, you opened the top. It was really cool. And glass blowing has been something that's interested me for years and years. The classes are typically very expensive, so I've never signed up for one as much as I wanted to, but this was perfect. So this is the glass that I have made myself. Isn't this so pretty? It was just such a fun experience, and I'm really tempted, as was Mare's suggestion, to contact the man who did this class with us. He's local, and see if he does private lessons, because I would really love to make more glass products. This was really fun. And you can tell, you know, it's a little bit wonky. He was working with my skill level, which is none. And I actually also purchased a wine glass for Joe, because I thought we might want a pair. So this is what I purchased that he made versus the one I made. You can tell, novice, advanced, but there they are. This is what I came home with after the day of glass blowing and wine tasting. By the way, the wine tasting was 17 wines. It was either 11 or 17. It was a lot. I couldn't even taste them all. You know, you do the taste and the discard because I had to drive home. But what a fun day. And if you were in the Maryland area and interested, it was at Low Vineyard in Mount Airy, and I highly recommend it. But I just had to show that off to you because it was such a fun, unusual, crafty thing, and I loved it, and I wanted to show that to you. So thank you for letting me share that joy. I will let you know if more glass blowing is to come. So that was last weekend. This weekend, was that last weekend? No, that was 2 weekends ago. Time. I can't keep up with it, you guys. Good thing I have this planner, sticker journal that I'll show you in a bit. It really helps. But this weekend, I am doing this floss tube this morning. Then Joe and I are headed to my hometown, and we're doing like a spooky ghost walk tonight with a bunch of friends, which I'm very much looking forward to, especially because the temperature will be chilly. I'm envisioning hot chocolate, a bonfire, spooky walk. Should be a really good time. I will share about it on Instagram if you follow me there. Okay, enough life update. I can sum it up with all is well, all is good. I do have some shop and kind of business updates for you. I wanted to let you know, I'm looking at notes if you wonder what I'm looking at, that all of my new releases that I put out for Needlework Expo end of August, September are now in my shop in PDF form. So you can get After the Rain, Token of Fall, Two Pumpkins Bright, The Fifth Day of Christmas Sampler Entry, and Bittersweet Village, all in my shop as automatic PDF downloads now. I am no longer carrying paper copies of charts for sale, so I am not shipping those anymore. I ask that if you would like a paper copy, which is what I always prefer, that you support your local shops. They can not only get you the paper patterns, but they will be happy to kit things up for you, get you all the supplies, make substitutions, anything you need, and I kindly ask that you do that through them. But if you happen to be an international customer who needs that PDF copy, it is there in my shop for you now, and that will also be helpful as we move towards this Christmas season with, I'm sure you all have heard by now, the supply chain issues that are coming. Stock up on linen after I stock up. Get all the things you need now, because who knows what's coming. So PDFs are in my shop, as well as I saw that my mom, Kathy Barrett, also put her new designs in her shop as well. So both are on Etsy. You can look up Hello from Liz Matthews for me, Kathy Barrett for my mom. I do have some Christmas gift items shop update coming soon. I don't have more details for you than that, but I am putting together a collection of giftable items that will be released for this holiday season, so it's not going to be too far off. Again, with the supply chain, I want to have everything done. So with the supply chain issues and shipping issues that we all experienced last year, I want to have things done earlier rather than later. Get it together, Liz. So I will have updates for you on that. I'm really excited about what I am planning to bring, and I hope that you like what it is. If you want to be the first to know everything, subscribe to my newsletter. I will be sending out all of the notifications, information, dates, details to newsletter subscribers first. Your newsletter can be my newsletter, wow, okay, I need more coffee. My newsletter can be subscribed to if you click the link in the description box. I won't spam you, I don't share your information, it's just from me to you. I provide a lot of what I would like to think is valuable content that you would like to get your hands on, including the details for this upcoming sale, because it's something like 47 days till Christmas if you celebrate. So we need to get our shopping done soon. Not what Christmas is about, but it's nice to share a little happiness with your friends and family, so stay tuned for that. Man, slippery slope. Slippery slope when I feel like when things aren't going well, sometimes it goes downhill. I'm gonna bring it back up now. I also have a giveaway coming. It is going to be announced in my next video. Thanks to you guys to hit some really big milestones both here on FlossTube and on Instagram. So I just want to say thank you and give back. So in my next video, you can look forward to me doing that via a really great giveaway. And if you're not following me on Instagram, now might be the time, because there's going to be a giveaway on that platform too. I also wanted to mention, this is the last old business kind of thing, that with the holiday season coming up, as we just talked about, I wanted to remind you that last year I did a Stitchers Advent calendar, and now might be the time to start thinking about that if you plan on gifting that this year. If you're new here, the briefest synopsis is that for my stitching friends last year, I put together an Advent calendar full of tools and supplies and goodies and stitching accessories and things that go along with stitching in an advent box and gifted it to them. So I have all of the details in a dedicated video. I will link it below, but now might be the time to start gathering, thinking about packaging, who you want to gift your advent calendars to. We have to get on these things. Can you tell I'm a bit of a planner and a little worried? So let's do that now. Last weekend, I'm like really scattered and all over the place. Last weekend I didn't have a video, and I told you I would tell you the reason, and it is because on Saturday I was part of the Orange Coast Sampler Guild virtual workshop. In fact, I was the teacher. I was more than just a part of it. I was the teacher. They kindly invited me to speak and to do a workshop with their guild members, which I did, and that was virtually on Saturday for a couple hours. I got to spend some time with stitchers across the country because the Orange Coast Sampler Guild not only has members in Orange County, California, that area, but members across the world actually. So that was really fun, and what I presented to them was this exclusive design. This is the very first sampler tree I've ever done. It of course has the orange basket, which is their logo. The OCSG in the alphabet up here is in a different color. That is the initials of the guild. And during this workshop, members were given the pattern, actually the kit minus the linen. They were given the pattern, the threads, patterns, there was more than one, surprise, and all the supplies to make their tree. So it included the base, the Spanish moss, the tree trunk, and we put our trees together there. They actually, I guess I can share this information now. I always try to be a little tight-lipped about exclusive things because I want that content to be special for people who attended, but they actually did not put together this tree because they had no pre-stitching for this event. They will do this tree on their own, but what we put together during the event on Saturday was an accompanying tree, so a smaller version of this tree that pairs well with this, so they will have two trees. But anyway, this is the design, and it was so fun to spend some time with them and to put this tree together. I made this tree during the workshop, so I didn't know what it was going to look like prior to, and I just love how it turned out. Now this should be available from me in time. You will know about it, I will announce it, and I will give more details about the design and everything to do with this when that time comes. But it was a really great Saturday morning. I was so happy to spend some time with them, and I appreciate them inviting me so much, and I just really wanted to show you what I had been working on. It's one of those behind the scenes things. I told you this year feels like a behind the scenes year, but I'm finally able to start showing you things, and that is one really cool project that I have been working on. Let me show you. My transitions are not going well with this video. Let me show you some other things that I have been working on. I got a wild hair one morning this week, and I said to myself, that's so weird, you guys. And I said to myself, I need to quilt. I have been wanting to quilt, and you know, there's always work to be done, and that's what I spend most of my time doing. But I think it's really important to carve out time for hobbies and things that excite you. So that's what I did one morning, and I decided to brush off my quilting skills. Now, I did quilt in college. I took a quilting class. It was super cool. Not only did I learn how to quilt, you know, the basics of quilting, but we also dyed our own fabric. So that was a fantastic quilt, but that was almost 20 years ago. I graduated, it was in 2005, 16 years ago. But it all came back to me, at least the basics. I haven't gotten further than putting my squares together. At this point, I'm like, what do I do? So I'm gonna have to do some research Thank goodness for the internet. But this is what I did. Let me back up here so you can see it. There it is. I am very pleased with it. It is very imperfect. You can see that all of my squares do not line up, but that's okay. Like, look at this. Very imperfect. I don't care. It makes me happy, and that is what all hobbies are about, is making you happy. So I did this quilt top, essentially, I guess that's what it is, using this charm pack that I got at Quilter Station when I was there teaching in September. I got 2 of these. There it is if you're interested. It is the Maryland Charm Pack by Moda Fabrics. The designs are from Kathy Schmitz. And I used 1 charm pack to make this quilt top. Now in my mind, I thought this was gonna go a lot further. I don't know why, because now looking at it, I'm like, that's not a lot of fabric. I'm glad I picked up 2 because I plan on also quilting these squares together to essentially double the size of what I have right now. So it should be like a nice mini blanket size. My goal is eventually to make a large quilt. I want a quilt that I can wrap myself up and be cozy, relaxing on the couch, you know, watching movies with Joe. So this will eventually get doubled. I will figure out what I do from here, but for now, I'm really, really proud to have this done. I don't know if proud's the right word. Really, really happy. So, more on that to come. This was surprisingly quick. Cheryl from Stitching with the Sisterlies messaged me and she said, "You're gonna love quilting. It's so quick." And I was like, no way. But it is actually on the quicker side. So she wasn't wrong. And I look forward to getting back to this, figuring out what to do from here. But that happened this week and couldn't be happier. I have here, this is what I got antiquing with my mom. I said I would show you. I haven't even unwrapped it. But I knew you guys might be interested in this. It is a paperweight in a shape that I have not seen before. It's, what is this? A 1, 2, 3, 4 octagon. So I will use this for putting some cross stitch behind. Don't forget, I did just do a tutorial on how I make my paperweights. It is two videos back now. I will link it below if you want to make your own. This is the Woolworth building in New York City. Not like, I don't want to remember the Woolworth building, but it'll be perfect for putting some cross stitch behind. And check out that video if you're interested. I think, just for your knowledge, I paid $11 for this, which is a little bit on the higher side for this area, but I hadn't seen this shape before and wanted to get that. And with that, I have my wheelie cart. Again, I can't recommend these wheelie carts enough. They're really cool. I'm gonna be right back with you. And I'm back. Sorry about that. Joe wanted to make a coffee in the kitchen back there, and I'm not gonna deny anybody coffee. Also, it's getting a little warm in here, so lost my sweater. But perfect time to start talking about my stitching and do my little WIP parade. So here is my book of days. You know I track all of my stitching in my book of days. And here's what my October spread is looking like. I, again, went with like a Halloween fall vibe. Whew. So there you go. Very excited to break into my 2022 book of days soon. But this month alone, I've already worked on 5 things, which is kind of unusual for me. I would say a good month is normally 3 things, but I have already touched and worked on 5 things. I have finished 2 of them, and some of them you're gonna see today. In my last video, I talked about the Smalls exchange I am doing this winter season, and I showed you the 3 pieces that I had narrowed my choices down to. And I said that I would share with you what I chose in the next video, but I'm actually not going to share that with you right now because I think the person that I am sending my exchange to watches my channel, and I want that person to have the most excitement, most surprises possible. And I know that when a package arrives from me, if they have watched my channel, they'll know, and that surprise will be ruined. So mum's the word for now. I will be back as soon as I can to show you what I made. I will do a little video of it and just post it after it's been received, show you what I picked and my thoughts on stitching that piece and some of the supplies. I have a lot of thoughts on it, so stay tuned for that. I'm sorry to leave you hanging, but it's just so that my recipient can have the biggest surprise possible. But don't worry, I still have 4 things to show you. One of them is going to be very exciting to you. It is not this piece. This is just very exciting to me. It is in my brand new Tiger Lily Studio bag. Carrie just sent this to me and I love it. The rainbows, they remind me of After the Rain. I love this little piece of embroidery down there, and I put my latest project right in here. I will link Carrie's shop below and you will see more from her, from Tiger Lily Designs. Did I say Tiger Lily Studio? It's Tiger Lily Designs in next week's video when I announce the giveaway perhaps. But for now, let me just show you my WIP. Oh, look at the inside of this bag. How sweet is that? I just love it. Happy, happy colors. And inside, I have a WIP that I'm not going to tell you too much about. You can see that it is a pretty fresh little start here. This linen is Fiber on a Whim linen. It is, I believe it's Cream and Sugar. Yep, it's Cream and Sugar linen from Fiber on a Whim. This is just a small start on this piece. It is a much larger piece that I will be able to share with you in the new year. But what's actually happening here in this little medallion is me testing out thread options. I am forever debating, and you might be too, if I want to use 1 strand of thread or 2 strands of thread. I go back and forth with every new start, so you can see I did a little test with 1 strand of thread on this 36 count linen and 2 strands of thread. I have decided which one I prefer, and I think that's what it just comes down to, everybody's preference and the finished look thereafter. I am ultimately going to be stitching this with 2 strands of thread. I like the coverage that it gives, and I like how it shows the colors off a little bit more true, which I think is particularly important when you are model stitching or have to photograph the piece that you're stitching for like the cover of a chart. So I ultimately decided to go 2 strands over to This is Needlepoint Silk, and you'll see more of this in the future. Here is my color palette, which I think is a little bit unusual for me, especially in that I am using purples. The light is not exactly true, but those are some purples in there, which is a color I normally do not gravitate towards. But for this piece, I am all about this like unusual color palette. I think it will be stunning. So this is on a floss ring made by Beth Wixon. I will put her information below. She does a lot of finishing, a lot of really fabulous pieces, like that pop-up Ort. It's fabric, but it's like a jar, and it's so cool. But this little thread drop has an owl, and I love it. So that is the color palette for this piece to come. WIP number 1. I'm gonna put that away. As I've learned from watching other WIP praise, it's very important not to intermingle your pieces. All right, number 2. Ooh, my most favorite bag ever. Stitchy Notions by Lisa. Rifle Paper Company fabric. And in it is this WIP. Check that out. That is a new start for me a couple days ago. Haven't gotten too terribly far, but so far I am loving the colors. More on this to come, obviously. This is being stitched, again, 2/2. With that little test swatch, I have decided 2/2 on 36 count linen. And again, this is a fiber on a WIM linen in Cypress. The color is Cypress, and it is gorge. Oh, I just love it. And I love how that yellow is popping on this Cypress linen. So, there you go. WIP number 2. All right. Another Stitchy Notions by Lisa bag, which houses my Prairie Schooler Santa. I am continuing to work on this. This is going to be Mare's Yearly Santa. This is the 1994 Prairie Schooler Santa with sunflowers. That's the finished piece in the little chart. And this is how far I have gotten. This piece has given me a lot of problems this week. And I don't know, I feel like the way I'm stitching this is kind of strange and maybe not the approach that many people would take. My goal is always to get to a place of fill-in. So I will do a lot of outlining and then filling in, while I think most people kind of have a more organized, like stacked approach to stitching, but it looks particularly weird with this piece because there's so much color change happening in his backpack. And I had to frog this twice because I was off a couple stitches. I don't know, I just wasn't thinking clearly, counting clearly when I was stitching this. And after frogging it twice, I decided it's time to fudge it. So that's what we are doing. You can see I have a ways to go with this, but it's been really fun. All Prairie Schoolers are enjoyable. What I did end up doing is making a working copy of this chart because it's so small. And I don't want to be critical of Prairie Schooler because you know I love them so much, but they don't necessarily always pick the easiest symbols. Picking symbols for a chart is kind of a time-consuming, tedious process, but I think it's important, especially if your chart is going to be this size. So I actually just blew it up to be much larger, and you can see I've been color coding, and that really helps. After I made those errors, I was like, no more, fix this, do this. I did want to let you know that I have made one color change to this Prairie Schooler, and that is the tone of Santa's skin. Rather than doing a pale skin tone, I am using some Almond M&M's skin tone thread. Let me see if I can get this looking nice and neat again, to bring some diversity to my Santa. So this is Ymir's thread, 1866, the Civil Rights Act. Each of her skin tone threads, which are all stunning, have date names rather than a more traditional color name, and it all, the dates are based on important dates in our history. So this just happens to be the 1866 thread. I believe the skin tone collection has 5 different colors in it, all just gorgeous. And I really am excited to use this. Let me show you again. So far, the only stitches I put in with Ymir's thread are in Santa's hands, but you can see how gorgeous they are. So it's right here and right here. So this Santa will look fabulous once he's done. I will show you, of course, but Ymir silks are stitching like a dream. And I love how I am making this an updated Prairie Schooler Santa. So I will share that with you as soon as I can. All right. Oh no, I lost some silk. You don't let Ymir's silk fall on the ground and stay there. You pick it up. Okay. I have one last WIP. I think it's the one that you will be most excited to hear about. It is here again in another Stitchy Notions by Lisa bag. How awesome is that fabric? The reason I think you'll be most excited to hear about this is because it is the next celebration small piece. I have designed it, I have started stitching it, I have not gotten too terribly far. There it is. But by next week, I think that I will have this finished and have the final celebration small piece in the year-long series done and ready for you. It will of course go out in that newsletter. So again, that's a perfect example of why I ask that you join my newsletter list, because I give out those free charts there, you know, information about that upcoming sale, discount codes, all the good things to newsletter subscribers. So if you're not subscribed yet, again, the link is in the description box, and you will receive this pattern directly in your inbox. It will have a picture of it all stitched up. It will be a one-page PDF for you, and I'm excited to share it with you. I am using 36 count boardwalk linen from Color and Cotton. Let me really quickly show you the thread palette if you'd like to see that. These are Weeks Dye Works over dyed. I was not very prepared. Another thing you have to do if you're going to do a WIP braid. These are Weeks Dye Works over dyed threads. Two more. Sorry guys, bear with me. But here is the color palette for this upcoming celebration small. And as I said, it's going to be the last in this year-long series. It means I will put out 5 celebration smalls, all available for free on my website or in my newsletter. I hope that you've liked them. More on that later next week when I show you this finished piece. That should be when it's released. I'm gonna do my best to keep on stitching and get that ready for you. I do have, with that, I should say, we conclude my WIP parade of 4. Very exciting to have that to share with you. It's been really, really fun stitching all of these things, and you know, designs that aren't mine. It's been really, really good. So hopefully more of that to come in the future. I do have a playlist for you. This is a feature I introduced in the last couple months. I spent a lot of time stitching and watching content, and I just like to share with you people who I have found, shows I've been watching, all of that sort of stuff. So I have a new Netflix show for you. It is called Only Murders in the Building. I am done with season 1. I binged it. It's really, really good. It's got Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. If you are a true crime podcast listener, you will really, really like this show. I thought it was so great, and if you watch it, let me know what you think. It's going to be a long wait for season 2, but it's coming. I can't imagine they would leave it at 1 season. It's so good. So we can wait together, but give that a watch if you'd like. Excuse me. I've also been watching True Blood. I had seen a couple seasons years and years ago when it came out, but I've forgotten everything, and I've gotten back into that while stitching. So those are 2 shows I've been watching. Maybe give them a watch if it sounds like something that interests you. Lastly, before I let you go, I wanted to let you know that you guys are continuing to be excited and ask for more information about my sticker journaling. It is different than my book of days in that this is more diary style, where I write down all of the things that have happened throughout my day, things I want to remember, envisioning myself looking back at my sticker journal in many, many years. You know, some things are good that I write down, most things are good. Most of my days are fantastic, but you know, some things happen that you want to remember in the future. So that's what I write down in my sticker journal. And because you guys have shown so much interest, I not only have that dedicated Instagram account, which is A Good Day by Liz, linked below, but I am going to do a video here on my FlossTube channel, just one, sharing with you all the details if you'd like to get started, because it's something that I really enjoy, and it sounds like you guys are interested and might enjoy it too. But this is what my last couple weeks look like. See all that foiling? And this is where I am this week. You can see I've caught up through yesterday. Don't mind these little labels. There are some projects I'm working on that I can't tell you about yet, so I just wanted to keep those hidden. But here's where I am. You can tell I've got some plans for today, plans for tomorrow, and I will continue to fill that in. But I will do a dedicated video for you, just one, here on my FlossTube channel, if you're interested, and kind of point you in the direction to get more information. I'm not going to do a lot of sticker videos here, but I do want to just get everybody doing this because it's such a joy. So you can look forward to that as well. Lots of things to look forward to. Okay, I do believe I always forget something. I always leave something off, but I don't think I have this time. There's nothing left on my notes. I believed I covered all my bases. I hope that you guys have a really fantastic weekend, that you get some stitching in, that you are doing well, and I look forward to catching up with you again in 1 week. Find me on Instagram if you want to talk sooner than that, and thank you so much for spending just a little bit of time with me today. Take care. Bye.